Hello, it's Kevin here. Time for a video again. So this is Cambridge 4 test number 2. Okay. Quickly, as always, I'll quickly show you my disclaimer. Fair use, teaching, etc., etc. Okay. Get rid of that. So now, right. Looking at this one, like I say, Cambridge number 4 test 2. Now, I've got this colour picture because that black and white PDF is an old one. It's a photocopy. Not very clear to see the data, okay, but it's a representation of this one. So, it's about electricity demand, which is not the same as use. That's demand in the graph. What it's used for is in the pie chart. The reason I mention this is because quite a few people in IELTS 9 Pro, the Telegram group, which you may or may not know about, they've been interchanging demand and use. Demand is the amount that people need. Usage is what it's actually put to use for. So you can't use use for the graph. That's the demand, okay? Just to make that point. So you've got the graph, the daily demand, an English home, winter and summer, and you've got a pie chart for what it's used for. Okay, so I'll get it out of the way because that's not very clear. So we can see it better here, right? So obviously, winter use a lot more than use in summertime. Sorry, I just did it. Demand, obviously, a lot more in winter than in summertime. As you see, an easy, all too easy mistake to make, and I have to keep reminding myself, demand, not use. Demand, not the same as use. So, you've got the daily demand, okay, winter and summer. Obviously, winter, the demand is considerably more than in summer. Then you've got what it's used for. Over half is for heating, and you've got 3 more or less equal categories for various electrical items. Okay, so in terms of what we're going to be doing for structure, this one's mine, pretty straightforward. Make it a little bit larger for you. A little bit larger. Okay. So this is only 177 words, and that includes all that data and information. Okay. So, introduction, like before, pretty straightforward, right? A paraphrase. The graph illustrates the demand per day, winter and summer in England. The pie chart shows how it's used in the average home. Now, key features in the overview. Daily demand is more than double in winter than in summer. Okay. Main use for this is heating, again, over half, a slightly smaller amount in total for powering various categories of devices. You don't need to go into a lot of detail in the overview. It's just, what's the key trends or features. So we can see. So, introduction, paragraph 1, overview, paragraph 4, talk about this. Sorry, paragraph 3, talk about that. Paragraph 4, talk about that. Pretty straightforward, yeah? So, that's the key features, really. There isn't anything else that we could add, yeah? That's, as it's always the same when you're looking at your key trends and features. What's the biggest? What's the smallest? What can you group? Etc. So this one, as I say, I think this is one of the easiest ones in terms of that, in terms of organisation. So you've got the demand first. A typical day in winter fluctuates 30,000 units from midnight to around 7 to 8 a.m. So we can see from here, services is 24-hour period, yeah, so that would be midnight, 12 a.m. and then to 12 p.m. So we can see between, in the early hours, about maybe 7-ish, 8, there's some fluctuation, but it's still between 30,000 to 40,000. Then we see it shoots up, peaks at around about 9 p.m. and then there's a rapid drop off, probably at bedtime, it's midnight, yeah, But in summer, we can see it's more or less consistent. It stays between about 15 and 20,000 all day. Minor fluctuations, a peak here, there, but essentially it's between 15,000 and 20,000 units the entire day. Obviously, not the same for the winter. Then, what it's used for, 52% for heating. I just mentioned category 1, 2, and 3, like I did here. So I'll show you that. So, electricity rises steadily, peaking just under 50,000 units. Rapid drop off. Conversely, summertime demand fluctuates significantly less. Hovers between 15,000 and 20,000 units, peaking twice. Okay, and then as for use, over half went on heating, while the other 3 categories use evenly distributed. 1, 2, 3. So 177 words. You don't really need anything else. And I've got more or less all the information there. Yeah. So let's have a peep at someone else's work, see what they have done. Okay, so before I comment, I'll briefly explain. So we've got a group on Telegram called IELTS 9 Pro. Okay, and what we are doing, I should say, we're running down every Cambridge Academic Writing Task. All right, so we started at 18. You know the books of previous papers, yeah? So we've done 18, 17, 16, 15, blah, 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 all the way down. This is number 4, test 2, okay? We're going to make our way down to number 1, test 4. So that will be it, every single one that you can have a look at. So I post a task, and the first 5 respondees get some comments, okay? Now, I'm not rewriting every single word of their work. Don't have time, and wouldn't really help in any case, but I'm just going to make some general kind of comments here. I've already had a quick look through, and as you can see, I've made a couple of changes here. So, 255 words. I don't know how it's 255. You don't really need it. I mean, I did it in 177. Most of it seems to be here in this paragraph. You don't really need all that. And do you have time to write 255 words in 20 minutes? Maybe not. Anyway, a line graph highlights numbers of units in demand of the summer in England. Okay, introduction's good. Now, right, just one thing here about this one. You don't need a definite article because it's electricity in general. Okay, so you've got an article there, but you don't have one there. All right, but you have one there, but you don't have one there. So electricity in general. Okay, so you don't need an article. So introduction is good. Overview. Now, nowhere near as high. Okay, but what does that mean? Is it double? Is it half? Okay. Heating, okay. So yeah, now that also, that's good, but I wouldn't maybe say, as I did, it's a half. It's just over. I mean, you don't want to be using figures, right, in the overview, but you can say, it's a double or half or etc., and then include the actual figures in your paragraphs. Yeah. So I would have maybe put a little bit more there in the overview, as I did. I'll give you some general idea of the trends. Okay, okay, same now. Data into level. Hot days of the year in summer. I don't know if if you've ever been to England. Just because it's a summertime in England doesn't necessarily mean it's a hot day, as any English person will tell you. Anyway, don't paraphrase. Summer, winter, you can't change it. But some words I would not paraphrase. Electricity, don't paraphrase that. Summer, winter, don't paraphrase that. All right. So not too bad. Spelling there. Well, okay, that's not too bad, but still 255 words. Next one, 214 words. Now, right, this one's got a conclusion. You don't need it, right? Don't need it. You need an overview, yeah, key trends, features, but you don't need a conclusion. It's not an essay. Okay, England, okay, English home, that's good. Extremely, significantly, considerably, that's better. Electricity consumption in summer, not summer's electricity consumption, because summer cannot consume electricity. Electricity is mainly used for heating rooms. So the electricity, because it's specifically electricity that's being used for heating. So you need an article there. So that's not so bad, not so bad. After which, what's your relative pronouns? Soaring trend, reaches the peak or a peak. Okay. At night, energy usage increases as well as the winter. So I'm not quite sure what. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. I'm not quite sure what that means. Statistics. Well, it's not, is it? It's figures. Figures. You know, like so. So anyway, so a couple of confusing parts there. Bit of word choice and word order, and you don't really need that conclusion. All right. Let's see what else we've got here. 182. Now, okay, that's not bad. But one's a graph and one's a pie chart, so not the same thing. Among the English, it's in England, not the same thing. Largest amounts. Now, my main concern, there's no data. No figures. You've got the times, but no figures, no data at all. So that wouldn't really work. Okay? Wouldn't really work at all. You wouldn't get a very good score. As I say, there's nothing there. Okay. On to the next one. Okay. Demand, not usage. Okay. Reasons for, you mean usage. So demand and usage, right? You don't need to paraphrase those. It is distinct that both datas in the line graph were fluctuated. And why is it passive? Were fluctuated? Only fluctuated? Heating, right, you know, so that doesn't really work. And then why this first and foremost thing? When you've got this passive, were experienced growth. Why is it passive? So there's a few things here. As you can see, I'm not going to change and mention every single thing, but you can see there's a few errors here that need to be addressed. Should be the final one. Demand is not usage. Electricity. 2 different seasons. Just simply say summer and winter. But where? Where is it? It's in England. Which parts of an average home? Well, it's not which parts of a home, because it isn't like in the kitchen, it is used in the bathroom. So it's not the actual parts, right? So that doesn't really work either. I demand majority of okay, overview. It's got more or less of 2 key features. You can maybe mention a little bit more there. Okay, it's not too bad, but then we've got this, an almost stable trend can be noted. So I'm not sure whether this is because you might have written this on your phone or you're using the Persian version of Word, in which case that's why it's arranged in this kind of way, you know, but there's some errors here, some kind of spelling. I don't really know why. Maybe it's if you did it on your phone, whatever. But there's quite a few errors there. So that's basically it. So I'll put mine up for you to have a look at. Okie doke. Pretty straightforward, as you can see. Okay. So if you're watching on YouTube, check the description box. The Telegram link on my profile is below if you want to join, if you want to get in touch. And if you're watching on Apparat, IELTS 9 Pro or Telegram, I'll see you next time. And next time we're doing Cambridge 4 test number 3. So, hope that helps. I'll see you then. Bye for now.